Welcome, Woodstock TV goers, the first good news interactive program of its kind. This is not a spectator sport. This is not based on Napoleonomics, okay? This is an interactive news program. And tonight we have very special guests, Iris York and Delores Lynch. Will be really giving us the facts about the wetlands if the Rupco stuff were to actually be built. Frankie, are your fingers here too?
Well, my fingers themselves, but not my bandmates.
Okay, Frankie has his digits, but his bandmates are not going to be here. It's going to be him solo, down low. And a lovely friend of mine, James Cougar, all the way from my hometown, Pine Hill, woo, will be coming and talking to a little bit about us. He won't be talking about us. He'll be talking about the environment and doing some down-home grassroots folk music that will be fantastic. So I just want to tell you a little bit more about Lucky, because I don't know if you guys heard. Lucky was saved by Vanessa, and he's pretty good. He's good with children, and there's this whole thing here. Lucky was picked up by New York City Animal Care and Control as a stray. She was scheduled to be euthanized due to overcrowding at the shelter. So if any of you really cool dog people are responsible.
She's good. She says what she does some commands.
She does commands. She's good. Shit's yeah. Okay, that was the real slip. So go check out Vanessa at the Garden Cafe, and get some soup while you're at it, because we just had some really good lentil soup. So without any further ado, let's get Iris York and Delores Lynch on here to enlighten us about what's going on here. Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for coming. Let me get. Oh, yes. It's great being here. It's only the next best progression from last week. So where do we begin?
That's a good question. Well, I'll start warming up anyway.
Yeah.
The thing that we're against is the site, first of all. We want to make that clear.
Uh-huh.
And the fact is that it's a very highly sensitive piece of land. It not only has the wetlands, it has floodplains. And if anyone is really interested, the next heavy rainfall we have, you can come and take a look at what happens to that land.
Uh-huh.
Completely like a lake.
Really?
And it takes a couple of days for that water to go back down underground and clean itself. It's a process. And in fact, I read the DEC explains it as a kidney that cleans the water and removes the pollutants and goes through and continues on to the tributaries.
We certainly need that, since you were mentioning an article in the Woodstock Times, the mercury content is really high, so we need filtration systems like that are natural throughout the community.
Absolutely, and that's also, the habitat, there's I read something in the DEIS at the beginning where a professor states that animals can take care of themselves. Well, what happened to all the fishes in the ocean? And
the animals can take care of themselves.
And the endangered species, what's happening to them? Why are they becoming endangered? And so, the bald eagle getting, filled up with mercury and becoming endangered again, that's the situation. So these things happen. Global warming is affecting the rains and the high levels of rain we're getting.
Right,
So,
that's definitely a point of interest to me, because I remember a couple of years ago, you remember that, David, when the town promised themselves to have the zero carbon footprint within 10 years. Is that going to be possible to pull off if this Rupco thing is taken into
Iris
effect?
can tell you about traffic.
Yeah, it's interesting because Rupco always says that they are going for carbon neutral because they have the geothermal pools and the heating with the geothermal. However, they're adding all of the traffic. So you've got all of the exhausts from the cars and trucks, all the construction vehicles. So if the town was really serious about getting
this
carbon,
promise,
the carbon neutral, and the planning board are the people that are making the decisions here, and they're the ones who vote. Then it's just kind of counterintuitive to be adding all of this traffic, and yet at the same time saying that you're going to be carbon neutral.
Well, that
so, the two don't quite
it doesn't
go together.
mix.
Right.
Right. That reminds me of, because someone had mentioned that there was a decrease in traffic. Remember on 212, and I was saying, but I grew up here. I know what it's like. It's just so, like after 9/11, it was a grand exodus.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And the Ulster County Transportation Council did a study in 2007. They did 77 traffic counts in Ulster County. It was about 14 towns. And Route 212 between 375 and Rock City Road was very high on the list with the amount of traffic. There were sections of 9W, 32, and Broadway in Kingston were busier. And then came Route 212. So you can imagine that that is a very, very busy road. Out of 77, it was like fourth on the list.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah,
so
now they want to add 530, which is in the DEIS on a 24-hour count, 530 trips back and forth that would be coming out of that entranceway.
Right, and that would mean more concrete and more heat and less.
Well, that's
trees
going on to 212. Same with the traffic, and where they want to put the road, of course, is some people aren't even still aware of where they want to put the road in the bridge. Some people are still thinking it might be through Bradley Meadows or at the corner of 212 and Playhouse Lane, but it's all the way in the back of Playhouse Lane at the end near White's Lane, which is a very bad intersection. It's not really an intersection. It's a corner that is steep on White's Lane. You've got somebody's driveway, a private road, and they want to put that intersection with 530 cars going back and forth.
Wow.
And most of that, of course, is going to be during the day and evening. It's not going to be between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., right? So it's just going to be a constant wave of traffic.
A lot of people aren't aware of this road, and it's a very winding road. And at the very end, there is a very sharp turn. So anyone who comes out of that bridge exit or comes down White's Lane has to approach it very carefully because of that turn. You don't expect a car to come. You can't see the car coming.
Right.
And that's what makes that very dangerous. I spoke to the engineer when they were showing us where they decided to put the bridge, and I said, do you realize you're creating a intersection here, five-way intersection? And he said, that's not our concern.
Oh,
That's
really?
the DOT, which it isn't. It's just a road, an access road that was built there for that little development behind the Woodstock Playhouse.
It seems super condensed. Like
It is.
they just wanted to try and just pack it all in there. And
Well, the road is about 17 feet wide in various places.
17, yeah.
And if you have people walking and traffic, you can't walk along the side anymore because it would
how
be
are we going to ride our bikes? How are we
Well,
going
you
to?
can't, with that kind of traffic, you're not going to be walking Playhouse Lane.
You can't walk it anymore.
You're not going to be riding a bike.
How are
too
we going to get
dangerous.
Woodstock to be bike friendly or horse friendly?
I don't know.
Or
And-
chicken friendly, for that matter. I mean, we're talking sustainability.
Yes, exactly.
Like this is seems like a short-term sustainable thing. What about the 7 generations? We're really missing that point. We're at a maximum capacity here. This is a global emergency, and why isn't Woodstock following suit? Why do we have our heads in the sand? But I'm just wondering. Besides all of that. Aren't there pre-existing things going on? Aren't there houses, the prices are lowering?
They are lowering now. Rentals are coming down because people need to get that rental income. And so, we're seeing some of the rentals going down. Rupco even has on their own site housing choices, apartments that they have a list in various places. Woodstock is one, and they list how much it costs and whether it's an efficiency or a 1-bedroom. So they are helping in that way. So why do we have to go and build 53 units, 14 buildings, something that is just right next to the wetlands? the road and bridge, of course, are through the wetlands. You know, when they could be spending their time on recommending other places that already exist, as you said.
There's how many empty buildings are there available?
Yeah, and you know what? They
waste.
have a couple of programs too that probably should be enhanced. They have, they said that there's a number of families that would qualify to get into this subsidized housing. And if there is, let's just take 50 families, and if they are eligible, according to the criteria to get into this housing, why not, and they have the program to do it, first time home buyers and rental assistance, why not just go to those families that they say qualify for this housing instead of building something else, and you know, help them with the rental or buying a house, because not everybody wants to have to move out of where they are. They want to stay exactly where they are, but they just need help. So why not keep doing that instead of spending $11 million?
$11 million?
Yeah, that was the figure a while back. I'm assuming it's probably about the same. And clear cutting 11 acres of trees. Mm-hmm. You know, being near the
11
wetland,
acres.
11
Oh,
acres.
yeah.
About 11 acres.
Where are all the birds going to go?
Well,
That's the thing. You know, when you start to take down the natural habitat, the animals don't come back.
especially
you know,
with construction and noise, they're frightened. They go away. They find another locale. You know.
I think we're going to hear some music about the birds.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, okay, you can't? Can you move the microphones?
What'd you say?
I have to sit.
Okay, then let us just sit.
Here, come over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull this up.
Okay.
Hello, folks.
Remember the birds, guys.
The birds. Well, actually, this song doesn't mention any birds. I do have some songs with birds in them, but this isn't one, so. Call me a failure, oh, say that my life is a waste. But I have to admit that it seems they're just running in circles, just running in place. Bulldoze a backdrop, build another, but where have you gone? And I have to admit that I'd much rather learn to live right where I've been all along. Here in the still December rain, oh, here I will remain, obedient unto the earth. Salvation is in each decision I make to be sane. So say I'm a loser, oh, say I've abandoned the fight. But I have to admit that it seems they're just shooting their arrows into the tide. Days take their time and lose themselves into the night. And I have to admit that it seems that the best thing to learn is to learn to live right. Here in the still December rain, oh, here I will remain, obedient unto the earth. Salvation is in each decision I make to be sane. Oh, that my life is a waste. But I have to admit that it seems you can't save your ass while you're just saving your face. I've come here for love, and love is never in haste. And I have to admit that it seems no good knowing the world when you don't know your place. Here in the still December rain, oh, here I will remain, obedient unto the earth. Salvation is in each decision I make to be sane. Here in the still December rain, oh, here I will remain, obedient unto the earth. Salvation is in each decision I make to be sane. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay. All right.
Well, that song was beautiful. I couldn't actually understand all the words.
Yeah.
Would you mind explaining a little bit about it?
Okay, well, I wrote it while I was up in the Adirondacks in a little cabin out in nowhere, and I was just boy, what can I say about it? We wanted to talk about the environment a little bit, and my approach to the environment has always been one of, I think it's really important to be able to be still, because when you're still, then you can really appreciate the earth and what the earth is about. One of the things that really get me are these, quote, nature shows that always show like the kill and the, a lot of, nature is exciting and that happens, but most of the time it's still. So to really appreciate the earth, you have to be still, and that's what this song is about.
That's awesome, and it's entitled
Seems to Me.
Seems to Me. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Journey.
Thanks, James.
Sure.
I hope you have another one in the latter part of the show.
Okay, I'll dig one up.
Great. Thanks. Stillness. In the stillness comes two lovely ladies that have some things to say here. And I think we haven't given you all the information. Please. Talking about stillness, there's some issues with the water in the ponds.
Yeah, well, I've been saying this from the very beginning because of doing research. I found that these ponds are not a very safe situation for young children. In the Midwest, when they had these retention ponds, in 10 years, 24 people have actually drowned in them. And New York State prohibits fencing, even though they found fencing doesn't keep out teenagers or whoever wants to get in there. They somehow manage to get in.
Right.
So I really feel this is really a very important issue, and no one seems to be addressing it. I think the planning board, the safety and health of the people is very important.
Absolutely.
And for instance, in Texas, a couple of years ago, they found a 4-year-old boy drowned in there. And I spoke to a woman, a friend of mine from New Jersey, and she just told me today that a couple of years ago, again, they found a child in the pond. This is very, very important, and it's a big liability. And that's why the state won't put a fence around it, because it means that, yes, it is dangerous. So that is an issue that I'm very concerned about. And especially when Rupco is inviting a lot of people to come visit this site, I don't know if they're going to walk or if they bring their cars. Where are they going to park for the little trails they have from Bradley Meadow to the compound, the complex there? It's only about a 2-block walk. I wouldn't consider that a trail. I mean, to me, a trail is going.
Really, that's just like
it's a walk.
It's a walk around the block.
A walk around the block. But, are people going to bring their cars and park and go there? Or is it going to cause more congestion? I mean, these are all things you have to think about.
Well, you mentioned that there's 2 restaurants in the. Is this true?
Where's that?
Is that incorrect information? In the
In the
facility.
No,
no, there's not gonna
That
be
was a
any.
building in Kingston that they
Oh,
just
I see. This was another
renovated
Rupco
and
project.
preserved. That's
The
another
Kirkland
project. The
Hotel.
Kirkland Hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Where they have 7 apartments and rating like $800 plus utilities, and another one, 2 for $920 plus utilities.
Right.
Which is not cheap. I mean, it's no deal. I mean, because I could see in Kingston, I check the real estate paper all the time, and there's apartments available for $650, $750, which is the going rate, I think, for today.
Well, this is how much the Rupco apartments are going to be from 8 to 9.
No, this is just in Kingston.
Just in
at that
Kingston.
building. I don't know what the
The housing here are
according-
going to be less than that.
will be less than that according to
Yeah.
this income.
But actually, I've been looking for rentals, and they've actually, $650.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
little cottages and cabins and places that I really
Right.
would like to be in a way.
Yeah. Well, houses are available now in Kingston and the outlying areas for $100,000. This is even though this is the worst of times. There's always some good that comes out of the
Right.
worst of times, and I think that this is if someone has a good credit rating and has an income, and some savings, good credit, they could definitely buy a house today for $100,000, $120,000. It's affordable. The only problem is with this whole New York State is taxes, and this is the major problem of why we need this kind of housing. If we weren't so taxed to death, everything would be affordable. That's the way it used to be. But New York State has one of the highest rates of taxes across the country. And we also have 200,000 people a year leaving this state because they can't afford to live here anymore. They head south, they head to the southwest, wherever it's cheaper to live and the taxes are lower. So these are problems, that have to be resolved by the governor and by people really protesting and standing
Right.
up and said enough is enough because
Right.
they want to tax us on even what you drink for a
Right.
soda. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, and with this housing complex that's going in, it's going to raise our taxes even more. So, because the tax assessment is based on the rental income, so if the rents are low, then the assessment is low, and then the taxes are low. So the taxpayers, have to pick up the rest.
Right.
And it's an
Right.
almost 3% hike in our taxes. And I think it was this year that they said it was a 5%.
5%
right?
again
They brought it
from
down.
the ca- from the
5%
town.
for the town. Now they want to add even more, should this thing go through. So I think that's a big concern that people have. When I talk to people, this seems to be number one
Sure.
on their
the
list.
Money and
The money,
not what
yeah.
my concern is the change of the whole environment and
Exactly.
like you go to New Paltz and it's so congested
Right.
and it's no fun to go there anymore.
Oh, I don't go anymore.
And it's
Yeah.
like I'm so happy and thankful to be in Woodstock
Yeah.
because it doesn't feel like all.
Well, the planning board, there are 6 people who are not elected. They volunteer, and they do a great job. They work hard. We have gone for 3.5 years to every planning board meeting concerning...
Good for
Concerning
you
the-
guys
concerning
because
this-
I
this
did not
project.
sit through a planning board
But
meeting.
some of it is very interesting. We do stay
Well,
for other things as
You
well.
learn, you learn a
Yeah.
lot. We learn a lot. Now, a lot of people who are for this project, where are they? I never see them at the planning board
Where
meetings.
are they? So yeah,
They don't know a thing about what's happening. They don't know where's the bridge, what's going on. But they're for this project. But how much do they know? What
Right.
do they know about the impact that is being made?
Right. So if we want to educate ourselves and we really want to know the facts here,
Exactly.
we can go to your website. We're correct. Facts here.
Exactly.
We can go to your website. We're correct.
Yes, woodstocksage.com.
Woodstocksage.com.
We do have some information there.
Uh-huh.
And people can actually go read the DEIS themselves. It's online at
Right.
the Rupco site and also at the...
At the library?
yeah,
There's one at the library, went
the
there.
library, the town clerk. But also they can see it at the town site as well.
They can go to
They
the
can
planning
read,
board.
the one thing I have to say
Site.
about the DEIS, of course, Rupco wrote it. So even though they have a lot of studies, one of the things that I noticed is particularly with the traffic is that they say that there's 530 trips daily, but then they say it's minimal or minor or low. So, you have to kind of read that.
The double talk.
And the double, right. And, think for yourself when you see the numbers that, if that was going by your house, would you consider that low or minor?
Right. So, we really want to see what the actuality
The
of
thing
this
I want to
happening.
point out also, it's a short-term situation. It's a Band-Aid because it's a 50-year limit, and then after that, it goes to fair market value.
Well, you must, that's the investors.
Yes.
The investors must invest their money.
Right.
And what they're doing, investing today for their grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is valid.
Well,
That really, the idea of Section 8 housing, then converting, it used to be 20 years.
Right.
yes, and originally this was 30, and then the planning board had said something, and then
Yeah.
they bumped it up to 50. However, the problem is that if a tenant, let's say, gets married, gets a better job, which are all good things, they don't get evicted from the apartment. Their
Their
rent goes up. So eventually you could have potential for these rents all rising. And because they don't get kicked out, person who really needs the apartment now at an affordable rate can't get in because that person is still there. So over time,
I hadn't thought of that perspective on it.
yeah.
Like
so,
rent control in New York.
Well, I have
Very similar.
a family
Yeah.
member went to Darien, Connecticut for a job, a young fellow. He got a job, he was earning $25,000, and this development was allowed 3 to 4 apartments for affordable housing, so he was accepted, and he paid $1,000.
Woodstock Television, tell us what your vision is. What's your question? Answer? Really?
What's going on in Woodstock Meadows, the existing Section 8? I'll hang up and I'll get the answers. Is it going to go to full market rent? Thank you.
Thank you.
Woodstock Meadows.
What's Woodstock Meadow?
Woodstock Meadows behind the
that's
post office.
the post. That's
You're saying
right.
what's going on with that? Is it remaining Section 8 or is it turning to fair market?
Yeah, what is going on with that?
I really don't
I
know.
can't
I
That's
say.
had
a
heard.
good, thank you, caller.
Yeah,
That was
I
a good
had
thing to
heard.
look into.
Yeah,
But
I did
you know-
hear that it was going to be up soon with their 20 years, and
But I don't know. I'm vague because I really can't remember. I don't think that after the 20, you can't evict them. Whether you could raise rents, like in New York, max used to be 15%. So even if it were up, you could only raise their rents 15%. You could try to buy them out.
well,
So
I
you-
would think it's commensurate with what their income is. That's how much they raise it. So there's some
But the-
criteria.
So,
that-
I was
Section 8 has an income level up here.
Yeah, and I think some of the apartments, I know that some apartments are set aside for Section 8 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Sabra lives
Well, what
there.
I'd
Yeah.
like to know is what's going to happen with those simulates buildings because they're just sitting there empty and they're so cool,
Well,
and we could turn them into like a
Yeah.
happening, sustainable.
Well,
Yes. Yeah.
place.
We had
It's like
mentioned
it's
that.
already there, and what about all of the other buildings that we
Yes.
could slowly turn it into? I feel like the Chamber of Commerce, the Zoning Board, and the Planning Board, and all of us could work something out that could be a lot more
Yeah.
practical and innovative than just plopping another thing on top of the planet like this. So please be involved in this. The public hearing is happening.
One quick question.
Hang on a minute.
Okay.
The public hearing is happening February 5th at the community center
7 p.m.
at 7 p.m. So if you are interested in this and keeping
Should be.
this sustainable green economy happening, please do. Sustainable, economically green economist. Did you have something to say?
I started to. I don't.
Okay, well, we
remember
have
the
our next
second.
guest
Yeah.
now. Frankie is
Yeah.
coming up to play some music.
Thank you.
Let's hear it. Yes, thanks, ladies. Iris York and Delores
Did you
Lynch.
watch the last-
I'm Frankie, and I happen to play in a band called Frankie and His Fingers, of which you can check out at www.myspace.com/Frankie and His Fingers.
What? Could you say that again?
www.myspace.com/Frankie and His Fingers. And this song is actually up there in a full band version.
You don't have to talk right into the mic.
Okay. It's called The Coach's Daughter. Don't count every tick of the clock when I am gone. Long before you know it, I'll be crossing your front lawn. You and me will agree that all the cynics are just plain wrong. We might be young, but we're different from them, my dear. But I admit I already miss you, and you're right here. I'm all yours. She whispered in his good left ear. So his ear told his head, and his head told his heart, and his heart told his hands to hold tight. She just got wetter, but he wouldn't dare lose her in the breeze. 'Cause she make me feel like a jackpot winner when you smile. And those big brown eyes will never ever go out of style. And that grin's doing if you fought me for a while. We can have it like the flukes and the lucky ones. We'll pity those who don't believe it can be done. And he replied as they drove toward the cold March sun. So her eyes left the road, 'cause the words that he spoke were the words that she hoped he would tell her. It just gets better, and the air tastes sweeter than just one thing more. It seems I was born with one big night sky inside my head. She lit up my eyes. You must be mine, I presume. It seems I was born with one big night sky inside my head. She lit up my eyes. You must be my moon, I presume it's true. Daddy taught you all you know, and how I catch you. God knows my reflexes are slow. Somehow I knew. Grab onto you and never let you go.
That was so beautiful. That's like one of those songs that like I want a guy to sing to me, like when I'm feeling like all oozy inside. Okay, but so what's going on? Are you what's happening every Tuesday night?
Every Tuesday night, I was just about to get to that. So I host an open mic
at the Havana Club at the Woodstock Lodge.
The Havana Club.
Exactly.
So put your dancing heels on and bring your guitar and your flute and your harmonica.
Yeah. If it starts at 9:00 every Tuesday night. And I'm the host. I'll play a couple of songs, and then everybody can come up and play a couple of songs.
Yeah.
Sign up is at 9:00, and things get going at about 9:30. Come play some songs, have a couple of drinks, and it's a really good time.
It's a really good time, and there's a nice fire there. So even if you're really cold and feel lazy, just know to get your ass out of bed or out of the television. Except if you're watching Woodstock television, you have to watch this one. But no, go to the Havana Club and see Frankie, and maybe it's time to start learning how to play the guitar. You could try your new digs out on open mic on Tuesday.
And I give guitar lessons, so if you're looking to
learn guitar, then I can
give you guitar
lessons. No
lessons.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool. And so, is there a sliding scale thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
But if you come out to the open mic on Tuesday nights, you can talk to me about it then.
He's flexible. So if you get a drink and then
it's at the Havana Club at the Woodstock Lodge.
Otherwise known as the Pine Crest.
Otherwise known as the Pine Crest.
They haven't been called that for some time, and I think they're trying to get people to start calling it the Havana, which is the new name.
Yeah, that's
so I think we're trying to stay away from the old name.
From the old nicknames, but we won't want to talk about them on television.
Exactly.
Hey, I got another beautifully talented, wonderful person to come and sing for you, and maybe you'll do one more later.
Sure.
All right, cool. Let's hear it from James Cougar.
All right. That's good. Horses were wild. They broke the barn door, crashed the gate, man, they ran wild. I was left trodden and confused when they went away. I didn't even bother to water the fields or take in the hay. But I was watching, yes, I was listening for a sign. 'Cause exile and grace, you know they always cross each other's lines. We'll all be in the clover and thyme. When I was 18, I left my home. I ran off to the city, but the city just mocked me and began to break bones. I missed my old paint, I missed that Arabian mare. So I went to the mountains 'cause I thought they might be wandering up there. And I was watching, yes, I was listening for a sign. 'Cause gain and loss, you know they always cross each other's lines. And there'll be who's in the clover and thyme.
losing track of the years and my temples are gray. I found a little place that ain't so bad, so I decided to stay. Now, I cannot say that the sword, it just fell from the stone. But here you are, and one by one all my horses come home. 'Cause I've been watching, yes, I've been listening for such signs. 'Cause exile and grace, gain and loss, you know they always cross each other's lines. And we'll all walk in the clover and thyme. Thank you. Thank you.
James, that was touching. It was so beautiful. And
Thanks, and nice dancing, by the way.
oh, thank you.
It's always nice
thank
to see
you. That
people
was me and the
dancing when you're playing.
economically green economist getting down. I'm mad about horses, and that was so beautiful. I want to make this town not only bicycle friendly, but horse friendly and chicken friendly too.
That's right.
But
And teepee living friendly.
Teepee living friendly. I lived in a teepee for a while.
You lived in a teepee
I did.
for
I
a
lived in
while.
a teepee. Yeah.
Did you write some songs in that
I
teepee?
wrote lots of songs in that teepee.
I know it's a kind of microcosm
Pine
world of
Hill.
its own, but I would love to see you out at Frankie's open mic at the Havana Club on
All right.
Tuesday.
Well, I might be able to do that.
I think it would be so nice to have you there.
9 o'clock it starts. You
Yeah,
said?
9 o'clock by the fire.
All right.
You know, I'll come out
Fires
for
are
that
great.
one. You know.
Cool. I will
So,
do that. I will come out.
Yeah. So you might be able to see him and hear some of those down home country tunes. Do you have a MySpace? Do you have a MySpace?
I have a website. It's jameskruger.com, KRUEGER.com.
What? Tell me again.
jameskruger.com, and you can buy CDs too.
Buy his CD. We just want to make one more point. What did we want to mention one more
Well, we
time?
wanted to mention one more time about the public hearing on February 5th
Yes.
at 7 p.m. at the community center.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people who have concerns about the project, but unless they come out and speak, nobody's going to know.
Right. We
And the
gotta
planning,
speak.
you have to speak up. You have to speak up at the planning board meeting, which the public hearing is actually a planning board meeting. Tell them how you feel. The other thing is to write letters. You can write letters
can
to
write
the
letters.
planning board. You can put it in the Woodstock Times. If you want to send something to the planning board.
You could send something on the internet.
Yeah, an email.
Email.
Yeah, you could just
email.
send them. People feel.
They have to hear how people feel.
Right, because they are the people that vote.
Yes.
So
they are
the
people
ultimate
that vote.
decision is with the planning board members.
Yeah, so come out, people. Come on out. February 5th, 7 o'clock. Right here, right then. And thanks again, Iris.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's great music.
Yeah, it is. Isn't it awesome? And speaking of awesome, we have Frankie to sing one more tune for us. Close. Thanks, Mr. Frankie.
Sure. My pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. You can once again on Tuesday night, if you don't know what to do with yourself, or you do know what to do with yourself, go to the Havana Open Mic on Tuesdays. Sign up is at 9 o'clock, and check out some real good happenings.
Yeah. And once again, you can go to myspace.com/Frankie and his fingers. You can check out my rock and roll band.
Rock and roll!
This song is called You. Climb into a tree,
sitting there with me. If we look down, we'll see the way we used to be. And turn on, I'll hang on while you pursue other play. When you said, I wish I didn't have to love you forever. So I'll save a place for you in my head. Sleep to the right side of my bed. In case you might just wanna stop by and crawl into it. Swelling up with air and learning how to pretend I don't care. Look how good I got at believing that you're nowhere, and your name don't ring a bell. At least nobody can tell. Letters jump out of books and signs, and guess what they spell? I'll save a place for you in my head. Sleep to the right side of my bed. In case your ghost just wants to stop by and crawl into it. You're casting shadows on my ceiling. What is this weird thing I am feeling? Not supposed to miss you anymore. My love for you was good and dead. Maybe it's lark, but I wonder where you are when it gets dark. Maybe our children will swing on swings in the same park, and I feel like a creep. I kissed you in my sleep. Your face was still the same. Your face was still the same. Your face was still the same.
This is not a spectator sport. Please remember to go to the town site Be communicative with your town, your community, your humanity at large. And please, last but not least, please do not forget about Lucky. I know you have a dog or a cat or some chickens sitting around, but, you know, if you don't, maybe you should get one.
Like a Lucky. Like a Lucky. Name Lucky.
So remember, kids, don't let the people that don't know how to boogie down run the world for you. Let's get off our tuchus and get involved. Rock the house. Thanks, yo, everybody, for being a part of the dream and turning it into this reality.